Hey guys, so welcome back to Fun with Mons, where today I am going to talk about something a little different. I'm going to be talking about just different steps to kind of work on getting toxicity out of your life. For me personally, it's not 100% achieved, but currently working on it, and these are some things that have been helping me. So I thought, hey, why not share them? So hopefully you guys find this fun, interesting, and it can help. All right, so let's get right into it. Now, the first thing that you want to do is to figure out, sit, write it down, whatever it is. Just figure out where all of the, for example, all the toxicity is stemming from. Is it coming from you, your mind, your self doubt? Is it coming from your relationship? Is it coming from your friendships? What's the source or the root cause of why all of this is happening? And in figuring that out, it kind of just helps you balance things a little bit easier and know how to deal with things as they come along. Trust me on that one. I would know. All right, so that's the first thing. You want to identify what this problem is or where it's coming from. And that can be easy and that can be hard. And there are different methods that you can use to kind of figure out where it's coming from. For me, I figured it out through journaling, right? I did a blog post on journaling. I'll link it below. But journaling has helped me a lot as it relates to just kind of understanding myself a little bit better. And it's kind of my go-to when I want to vent or let things out, and then I can go back and kind of see where it comes from. All right. And there are different methods and strategies, of course, as it relates to the same journaling, which you will see in the blog post below if you decide to watch it. And the next one, number two, in my opinion, is you want to set boundaries. Ah, that's a strong word that sometimes people don't like to hear, but setting boundaries around those things that you feel are maybe toxic influences for you, right? It might not be for some people, but for you, they may not know, but for you, it might be a problem. So if it's too much, avoid it, right? So if that means maybe not cutting off friends, but limiting certain time with certain friends, things like those, it's fine. One of the biggest things for me over time in terms of um, doing that was just being able to say no. For years upon years, I was I would say a people pleaser. I think just based on how I was grown, I always wanted to it started from pleasing my parents to pleasing, I don't know, I just never felt like I was pleasing myself. I always did things that I thought would have been. I think now is where I started to kind of just do things for me without really caring what anyone thought. And I wish I thought like that years ago, but everyone's different. You live, you learn, you grow. Don't judge me, right? But for me, I decided to start saying no. And I realized that when I started saying no, a lot of people got upset. And I was like, my daughter is looking at me like, what? But yeah, like when I started saying no, oh my, I lost friends, right? But that's okay, right? It shows you who is who and things like that. But saying no, nothing is wrong with that. It's for you, it's for your peace, it's for your sanity, it's for your purpose, right? So saying no is quite okay. So just set boundaries around what you're okay with and what you're not, and be comfortable in it. And don't worry about what anyone else has to say, boo. Just do you. Good. Or number three, what I would say, it's kind of ties with number two, but it's just to let go of certain things that don't serve you. Like, hello, just let them go. Whether it's And when I say let them go, I don't mean just like drop it at the wayside. It could be different things. If it's a relationship, just forgive and move on, right? You might not forget, but be able to forgive, move on, because all of that is just heavy weight on you. Who wants that, right? So it could be something like that. Um, if it's something that's not good for you, right? If it's like, for example, you know you're not necessarily eating healthy, like let go of that and decide to make that change to start eating better, right? Maybe it's not forgiveness, maybe it's just accepting something, right? Accept it and move on, like move the hell on, right? So it's just letting go, right? Let go and let God, I always say. But just, it might take some time. I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight. Definitely will not. But you want to, you know, let some things go, boo. It's 2024. Let it go. And number 4 is to surround yourself with loved ones. People who you love, you know they love you and they care about you, whether it's your family, your friends, spending time with the ones that you love and just bringing positive energy around you. That's not easy, especially coming from me. I can personally say, I don't even know if I should share this here, but if you guys knew me back in the days, and I'm still not 100% in terms of positivity, but I try to put it in as much as I can because I know where my headspace was years ago. I was not the most positive person, and I mean it in a really bad way. Like, we could be at a fireworks show and I felt like something was going to fall and just hit me. Like, I always thought the worst. Like, always.
No, hey, this is too close to comfort.
And I realized that wasn't good for me, that wasn't healthy. And then I started reading a lot. So I read a lot of books around personal growth, personal development stuff, and that kind of helped me a lot. I was also very reserved, still reserved to some extent. I'm extroverted if I need to be, but I'm still very much introverted. I like being at home in my space. But for the most part, if I have to be out there, I'll be out there. But then my social meter kind of just dwindles and I go back home, right? But at the end of the day, it's just having that positivity around. So if it's affirmations that work for you, do those, boo. If it's reading that works for you, do that, boo. If it's like religious, your prayers and things like that work for you, or spirituality, do what works for you, boo. All right? So it's really just trying to keep that positive energy around. And there was an exercise I did recently in journaling, right? To kind of be a little bit more positive. And that exercise was to write down the things that I was thinking about that were negative, right? Just writing them down, listing them out. And then my other task was to change all these negatives and look at the positive aspect of each of them. So that kind of conditions your mind to no longer think more about the negative, but look more at the positive side of things. Yes? As I told you guys, I'm definitely not perfect, but on this journey of just becoming a better me, better person, it's something that I realized was really important because I was really big on, self-sabotaging, my thoughts taking over, imposter syndrome, like everything you could think of. That's your girl. Guys, my other suggestion would be practicing self-care. Again, for me, this is more recent. Maybe not recent, but I'm more intentional. That's the word, right? I'm more intentional about it. And when I say self-care, I mean in all aspects, right? Mentally, physically, emotionally, like figure it out. What works for you, right? What works for me may not work for you, but figuring out something or things that you can do. For me, self-care could be a day or like On a Sunday evening when my daughter goes to sleep, or on a Saturday evening, I'll just play video games, right? Because I really don't get the time most times to play. So when I do get the chance, for me, that's just a way to relax, free my mind of everything, and just play some game, right? So that's why I said self care could be different, right? For some, it could be going to the spa, it could be getting a mani, a pedi, right? You have many different ways of taking care of yourself in all the different areas, right? Maybe you want to do exercise. That's another thing that I found helps me with my mental clarity. Working out is a big part of giving me clarity. Haven't done it in a while now, but you'll understand why. But working out is another good one. It's something I want to get back into as soon as I can, because I think it's so important. It's vital. And for me, working out is self-care because when I work out, I'm rather slim. It doesn't really show here, but I'm slim. So for me, working out is self-care because I want to gain like just a little weight, right? So for me, working out is more gaining. But again, it comes back to, remember I spoke about earlier, your thoughts and mindset. So for me, years ago, I hated going to the gym. Why? Because as I said, I'm slim and I felt really judged. And especially in Jamaica, I felt judged like, she's so skinny. Why? Why is she at the gym? But my purpose was going to the gym to gain weight. So I gained weight, workout, tone up, all of that. So for me, it was great. But I used to go to the gym at like midnight or 1 a.m. just to avoid the peering eyes of people saying, "Oh, but she's slim." But now in 2024, people are a lot more open and understanding to people going to the gym. And also for me, going to the gym, it's health wise too, right? I have an illness where working out actually helps me. So I'ma do it, judged or not. Damned if I be judged. Can I say that on? It should be fine, right? I don't even know the rules on Instagram these days, on YouTube. But yes, so that's the other thing. Self-care, super important. And I write about things like these in my blog that you guys could check out below. All right, the next one, which I had mentioned in a part of the journey, is focusing on growth. For me, this is super important. I used to put so much into it, so I'm trying to get back into that, where I really want to focus on my personal growth and my personal development this year. All right, so I got back into reading. I'm reading a book now about being a bad A something something, which is really good. I'll probably show a picture here or link it below, but that's a really good read. But for me, I read books around, what do you call it now? Because as I said, I was big on the negative thoughts. Like that was a huge problem for me. So the books I read are mostly, not just, but mostly about kind of becoming more positive, what to feed your mind, how to grow, things like that, right? But that's a never ending journey. I felt like years ago I was a lot better in terms of my personal growth journey, but then I had not stopped, but it really slowed down a lot, especially like since I had my daughter, it kind of slowed down a bit. So now I'm trying to just kind of get back there and get back on track with it, right? And just to add, another one that I think is really a big source of like problems or toxicity or toxic traits is actually social media, right? So it's how you use it, how you deal with it. That has pros and cons. So that's also another one that you can consider. So I gave you some ideas of where it could come from, but there are other places. So as I said, it could come from loved ones, it could come from your spouse, it could come from your friends, it could come from social media, it could come from you just not feeling that you're good enough, those thoughts that you might have, those self-sabotaging thoughts. Again, guys, if you know me, I'm coming from all of this. And then also your habits, right? All of those things could impact your level of toxicity in this world and in this environment, right? And last but not least, guys, like we know for a fact that life be lifing, right? So something is always happening, something new, something out there, some annoyances, people getting under your skin. Like there's always something, right? Something not going your way, but it's life. Life's lifing, I say, right? So if all those things don't work or you don't feel like they're working or helping, then nothing is wrong with seeking professional help, right? So if you want to start doing therapy or counseling, or if you just have a really good trusted friend who gives you really good advice and things like that, someone you can talk to, let everything out, don't keep it bottled in like I like I used to do. None of that. Then at the end of the day, it will help, right? So those are some of the things that I would recommend to help you like just release and relieve some toxicity from your life, because I can tell you guys, it's a heck of a thing, right? And as I said, toxicity can come in many different sizes, shapes, forms, annoyances, like a lot of different ways, right? So it's really up to you to just mentally prepare yourself for all of these things and not let that define who you are, and try not to react. That's another thing. And I usually totally react instead of like thinking about things, but now I try to think more before reacting, right? So hopefully that helps. As I said, 2024, we are working on growth, better self, better health, and all of those things. All right, guys, so I hope this was helpful for you guys. Follow me for more on Instagram. Like, subscribe, share here on YouTube. And guys, please don't forget to click that subscription button or the notification bell so you could stay up to date on whatever I'm sharing. As I tell you, this is just my YouTube channel. It's not niche down to one topic. So you'll see me talk about my hair. I'll talk about travel. I'll talk about food. I'll talk about work from home because that's what I do. I might chip in a few about parenting because I have a little one, right? So don't forget to subscribe, guys, and share.